red corner, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, TBE, Floyd Mayweather.
You can take Floyd Mayweather out of the boxing ring, but you can't take the boxing ring out of Floyd Mayweather. Floyd, stop in this exhibition match. Listen, surely, this would be the conclusion of everyone who saw the 50-0 boxing legend display his box intelligence in putting up a great show against a much younger and active combat sport fighter in John Gotti's third.
Unbelievable crowd, unbelievable turn.
Despite the fact that the fight wasn't scored, it was clear that Floyd Mayweather had completely beaten John Gotti third.
Turnout, unbelievable people.
The popular website scored the fight 6-2 to show how dominantly the 47-year-old boxing legend had fought.
With the Floyd digging with that jab to the body. And we know that's one of his signatures.
During their first encounter, the boxing king showed John Gotti the real boss of the ring. At this point, it wasn't about youthfulness or athleticism, but about Floyd Mayweather's intelligent footwork, boxing IQ, and skill.
A minute to go in the opening round. It's 8 2-minute rounds.
Look at that double jab.
All of these put John Gotti in total confusion as his punches couldn't land, yet he kept eating jabs and right hands from Floyd. At the end of the fight, Floyd had done enough to earn a standing ovation from the Mexican fans, who initially welcomed him quite harshly.
Coming right out showing him, it ain't no game in here.
Gotti's literally falling into frustration.
Like the last time Floyd Mayweather was totally dominant, but it was nothing like the last time Floyd Mayweather was totally dominant, but it was nothing like their 2023 meeting that ended in the 6th round when referee Kenny Biss called an end to the fight due to excessive trash talking.
That's it.
Skills pay the bills.
Don't care. First round.
The referee had a tough time getting the two to break up their clinches, and there was a brawl inside the ring involving members of both teams.
Second round. Mayweather smacks the hand.
This time, both fighters were more respectful, and they ensured there was nothing taking their time away boxing during the fight. Once the fight began, John Gotti came out rushing and attacked the boxing champion in full force.
He just started.
Oh, he's slick. He's still slick. Not throwing good.
Half an inch.
Violently, he kept coming at Floyd, but Money Mayweather was able to escape his punches using his famous shoulder roll and footwork. Gotti kept thrusting forward looking for an opening, but he couldn't land properly as Mayweather kept defending his punches and countering him with jabs and hooks. The fight was to be held for 8 rounds, with each round going for 2 minutes. As they were nearing the end of the 2nd round, John Gotti was able to land a clean shot. Sadly, it didn't do much damage to Mayweather, and before he could pick from there, the bell rang in the next round. Gotti came out firing again, but this time he was more cautious of his defense, hence neither of them could land a clean shot until the end of the round.
And again, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Work out.
See, right there, Gotti is holding.
But John Gotti probably itched Floyd as he attempted more punches and seemed to be more active during the round. In round 3, Floyd kept his calm and continued working on his defense. It was becoming quite challenging for Gotti as every attempt to land a clean shot on Mayweather was being blocked by Floyd regardless.
Instead of trying to punch,
Just tentative is Gotti.
He doesn't know where to go in.
The more defensive Floyd kept fighting back with combinations that soon damaged John Gotti's face. The pair got to the 5th round, and John Gotti looked a bit refreshed after treatment. He got into the ring with that intensity and began attacking Floyd relentlessly. At some point, Floyd was just flying off his punches using his hit and don't get hit strategy. The round was over, and for the 2nd time, John Gotti seemed like he was on top off the ropes. In the 6th, Floyd Mayweather took charge again. This time he was keen on keeping the distance, an action that left John Gotti in frustration. Floyd did this quite well as he managed to use his reach correctly. Although the round, John Gotti couldn't throw up to 10 punches as the distance was too much to cover, but while he did that, Floyd was hitting him with jabs and hooks.
Off the ropes.
Getting into the 7th round, both fighters looked tired, and there was minimal action from the pair, but a few seconds to the sound of the bell, Floyd was able to throw back-to-back combos to gain the round in his favor. The final round was the most dramatic and intense.
Floyd's been locked in all day. Finally a jab from Gotti.
John Gotti came out firing even more than he did in the 1st round, But Floyd also put up a defensive masterclass to avoid most of his punches and throw counter punches in return. Interview 15, however. This fight with John Gotti has so much semblance to the Mayweather vs. Canelo fight based on Floyd's dominance and everything heading into the fight. Mayweather was in the second of his unprecedented 6-fight deal with Showtime, where Mayweather would need to fight 6 times in 30 months to earn a minimum of $200 million.
Look, we're sitting here ringside and we're like ooh and ah about the performance and everything else. Faints upstairs and throws to the bottom. Floyd.
Money Mayweather had departed HBO for Showtime and to that point hadn't fought more than once a year since 2007 when he defeated Oscar de la Hoya and Ricky Hatton. Many were skeptical that a 36-year-old fighter would fight at that frequency and questioned the level of opposition he would face after knocking off Robert Guerrero and made a what was reportedly a lukewarm PPV. By rate for Mayweather standards, there was curiosity regarding who the undefeated fighter would choose for his next opponent. Music. To the surprise of many, Mayweather opted to face a fighter who was 13 years his junior and perceived to be bigger and stronger than anyone he had faced in recent memory. Perhaps motivated to prove that he was still the biggest star in the sport, he selected the man who many believed would be the next big thing in boxing, and to his credit, he also proved that age was nothing but a number when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. For Canelo, he needed to accept the fight at a 150 pounds catch weight to pounds lighter than the 150 pounds weight limit in order for it to be made, and that choice ended up being a lesson that he would carry in future fights. The young boxer had just turned in an exceptional performance against Austin Trout to unify the super welterweight titles and was 2 fights away from dominating Shane Mosley, who memorably hurt Mayweather more than any other fighter had when they met in 20. Arthel Canelo's arrow was pointing up while Mayweather was expected to be in decline. It legitimately changed the trajectory of Canelo's career, and a one-sided defeat became the catalyst for the young Mexican fighter to become the sport's biggest star and the face of boxing. It's a position he still holds a decade later as he prepares to defend his unified super middleweight titles for his September 14th showdown with Edgar Bonga in Las Vegas.
Championship affairs were but that's because he's never had an opponent to bring it out.
As expected, the MGM Grand Garden Arena was filled to the brim with fight fans and amassed a gate of over $20 million in ticket sales, as well as racking up a then-record $150 million in income from the point-to-million pay-per-view buys. The PPV Hall passed the previous record of $136 million set by Mayweather's 2007 victory over De La Hoya. It felt big and further cemented Mayweather's status as boxing's cash cow. It also proved the value of Canelo being his opponent. If there were any questions regarding who would carry the torch for boxing once Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao decided to hang up the gloves, they were answered on this night.
In the art that are not associated with the camp said that, and we'll see.
The fight itself, however, ended up being one of Mayweather's most majestic performances that was nearly ruined by one of the most egregiously bad scorecards in boxing history, flanked by Lil Wayne and Justin Bieber for his walkout. Mayweather's superstar status was on full show, but would the skill match the celebrity? In front of a packed crowd that included Lions Cole J, the answer was a resounding yes. Magic Johnson, Heidi Klum, P. Diddy, Michael Phelps, Denzel Washington, and others. The teacher taught the student an invaluable lesson on how to apply the sweet science. Early on, a pro-Alvarez crowd filled the MGM Grand with a chance for Canelo, but it didn't deter Mayweather from dissecting his opponent from start to finish.
This fight.
Behind a long jab, impenetrable defense, and phenomenal footwork, Mayweather neutralized the attack. It minded Canelo. It didn't take long for fans to understand that Canelo wasn't close to Mayweather's level as the 36-year-old boxer circles around his younger opponent. Mayweather made sure he wasn't in striking range for Canelo's big swings and made him miss badly throughout the night. After 6 relatively one-sided rounds, the frustration began to surface on Canelo's face. He couldn't find his target and was routinely pot-shotted by an older fighter who wasn't supposed to hold advantages in conditioning and speed.
In the round, not a great punch, but it did get in there, and of course the left hook is going to be...
By the time Mayweather began unleashing his trademark lead right hand, the fans had enough. The Canelo chants ended, and it was apparent that this was nothing more than a $100 million sparring match demoralized by his inability to hit Mayweather and the return fire that routinely found its mark on Canelo's face. The Mexican was resigned to his first defeat by the 12th round. Fans began filing out of the arena in hopes of beating the traffic. A completely unblemished Mayweather returned to his corner after the final bell, wearing a Cheshire Cat grin on his face. His opponent was dejected.
To the body. And there's a stiff right hand to the body by Mayweather. Mayweather even a little bit distressed.
And then the scorecards were read. Many pundits watching struggled to find a single round to give Canelo. However, when the scorecards were read, a collective gasp could be felt in the arena. Somehow, Judge C.J. Ross scored the fight even at 114. Fortunately, that abomination of a record was offset by judges Dave Moret and Craig Metz, who saw it at 116, 112, and 117, 111, respectively.
Getting more comfortable. They're about 6 inches closer.
And counter right. Low by Canelo.
Both scores were more generous than anybody else had it, but still, we're in favor of the winner, Floyd Mayweather. A majority decision it was not, but the scorecards ended up offering more drama than any round of action. The fallout following the fight was important. C.J. Ross elected to voluntarily step down from being a judge due to the whirlwind of controversy from her scorecard. Mayweather would continue his unbeaten run with a pair of victories over Marcos Maidana before dominating Manny Pacquiao in the highest-grossing fight in boxing history.
On the idea of Canelo sticks the jab and the right hand.
He would fight to more times before riding off into the sunset with a victory over Andre Berto, the bank-breaking swan song against UFC fighter Conor McGregor in what would end up as the second biggest grossing fight of all time. Now, he travels the world making money from exhibition contests against anyone from YouTubers to reality TV stars.
Defense hasn't been bad either. No. Both guys have not lunged and leaned with their open shot. It's had to be time.
And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get warned when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time.